Hello, everyone. Happy card making day, World Card Making Day. I'm back for round three and our final round of card making, where we're going to switch gears to Christmas. So, if this is your first time here today, I do have listed right here a link for you to go and get entered. I will be doing a drawing at the end of this live as well for some prizes. It is case sensitive, so the WCD does have to be capitalized and the word prizes does have to be lowercase. I am asking for your address just in case I don't have it, that I can get the prizes out to you, because you don't know how many prizes I have sitting here where people win and then they never let me know what their address is, or I don't know for sure who they are by their name that's in YouTube. And so sometimes they sit here and I can't get them out because the people, I don't know who they are. So that's why I'm asking for your address. I don't sell that or do anything else with it. That's the only reason I'm asking for it. So, all right, we are on to Sentimental Christmas. So I'm going to go ahead right away and flip down to my other camera, and I'm going to turn my overhead light off. So those of you who purchased this kit received a half a pack of the Sentimental Christmas. This is kind of an old-fashioned Christmas type paper. All right, so that's the one side of the designer paper. We'll be seeing a lot of it. Whoops, I picked up my scrap. There's the back side. There are a couple pages that are more like scrapbook pages almost, or you could cut out corners of that to use in cards as well. Um, all right. And then you also, besides that half a pack of paper, so you got one sheet of each one. You also received in this bundle, or in this kit, a spool of the uh, shaded spruce ribbon, and then a pack of these Drury gems, which are just gorgeous. I believe those are back in stock now. They were out of stock, but I believe they're back in stock. And then we have our 4 cards that we are going to be putting together. And these, all of these cards use the stamps and the dies from Sentimental Wishes, which you can see some of the paper had some of these images on. There are also stamped images that you could make. Excuse me. And then it also does come with this little tiny pack of dies, which you can cut out the greenery, you can cut out the stocking, you can cut out the bow that you can stamp. This is for the candles. And then it has this little piece of kind of like greenery that we're going to use on a couple of the cards as well. So that is the bundle we are featuring. I did want to let you know that if you are on Facebook and you go to my Facebook page, Create with Sarah, I did post a link if you are wanting to purchase the 3 PDFs that I put together for these, that include pictures of all the projects, all of the dimensions, and then the directions on how to put the cards together. I did post that you can purchase that, and I will just email you the 3 PDFs if you purchase it. I will also be putting it in the comments of this video when I'm completely done. I'll put it in the bottom of each one of them. Yeah, thanks, Donna. I'm afraid if I don't put it in the envelope, my mom helps me with a lot of this stuff. Once I get everything cut, she puts the assembly line together and usually puts everything together. This one I ended up doing, but for my card buffets, she helps so much when she does that. So we have, this is pecan pie again. We have some pretty peacock. Look at how those 2 colors, how nice that is together. And then we have our basic beige that are in here. And I also did take some of our pretty peacock, and these are strips of paper that I ran through our Fern 3D embossing folder. So this is how you would, that's the embossing folder, I should say, that I used for this one. We are going to stamp on, this is our inside. That's also our inside. This is going to have something stamped on it. I did use our Spotlight on Nature dies to cut out this circle in pecan pie. And then this is one of the other ones that kind of has that I always say it's like kind of like I don't know what, it's like an embossed image around there. It kind of looks like a coaster type thing, but I did cut out one of the deer from the deer paper. And you might have, if you bought this kit, you might have a different one cut out. And you can cut out any one of the deer that are on the designer paper. I think there's 3 or 4 different patterns that they come in. And then I wanted some of the greenery around and these little birds. I thought that made it look almost like a little ornament that we're putting on the card front. All right, so we are going to use Pretty Peacock ink for this one. And I'm going to just stamp a greeting on the outside. So we're going to stamp "Let's Celebrate the Season." And my outside is actually going to be this strip of paper. And I want the greeting to go over to the right side so that I can put that circle over here on the left side. And then on the inside, we're just going to stamp "Have a very Merry Christmas." Very easy. That's all we have to do for stamping for this one. There's a wide variety of things we're going to do in this. We're going to do some die cutting. This is probably depends more on the die cutting. But some of the other cards that we're going to make in here, we're going to do some embossing. We're going to do some coloring with blends. We're going to do a wide variety of things. This stamp set has a lot of different things you can do with it. All right, I have a strip. This is the same paper with the deer, but it's the other side. It has these cool little snowflakes on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach that to the bottom of our card base, and we're going to put that in there. And then we're actually even going to layer this on some of the Pretty Peacock and put that as our inside layer of our card. Okay, so let me grab my glue here, put the cover back on after the last one because I was afraid, oh my gosh, this is going to dry out. I've had it open so long. So we're going to go ahead and layer this just to add a little bit of fun to the inside of our card. And by doing this, I'm also don't have to write as much in the card, because for Christmas cards, when you have so much of them, a lot of times if people do have things that they wanted to write, usually they put it in something that they might type up and fold and put inside the card. Um, or they just want something really quick and easy that they can sign their name to, right? Just maybe say, wishing you the best or have a happy new year. But then just be able to sign it, especially if you send out a lot of Christmas cards. If you send out a lot of Christmas cards, this is actually a pretty quick and easy card to do. There's a little bit of die cutting that's involved, but I made these for a swap, and I thought they went together pretty fast. Okay, so this is going to go on a layer of Pretty Peacock. And then we're going to put this on the inside of our pecan pie card base. Oh, Mary, you got a 2-mile walk-in. Good for you. Shouldn't say that word real loud because Lila and I haven't yet. I had too much to do this morning to get ready. I actually slept in a little bit and I didn't get up until 7. And that usually that's sleeping in for me. But anyway, we didn't get a walk-in before we started because there were a few things that I wanted to make sure everything was going smoothly for today. So these little strips I'm going to put at the top. And what I'm doing is I'm checking to make sure that I have an even as I can get it, amount of pecan pie showing on all 3 sides. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. These are exactly the same size. And then my "Let's Celebrate the Season" is going to go right between the 2 of those. So this card is quick and it's easy. Hi, Betty. Hello to all of the rest of you who said hello and I haven't acknowledged you. I apologize. I'm glad that so many of you have come back. Oh, Mary, you got to see all three. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you were able to join me for all three. It's such a fun day. I really had fun designing these cards. Like I said, a couple of these I made for swap. So this was the bundle that I had for a swap that I was in where I had to make 4 cards using this bundle. And when I first got it, I was like, ugh. It was one of those where I said, whatever you have left for bundles, I'll take that. And this is what nobody else wanted. So I got it. But I've really actually, after I put everything on the stamps on the blocks and got to work, I don't know if I have that completely even. I don't. Let me see if I can get this up yet. Um, I did end up really liking the stamp set after I got a chance to play with it a little bit. Where's my bone folder here? Or my scissors will work too. Have to concentrate on what I'm doing. I looked up and was looking at all of my comments and stuff and trying to make sure I was saying hello to everyone. And I ended up getting this crooked, but we can salvage it. Normally I would take my heat tool and I would heat up the back and get the glue so that it was wet again instead of dry. And there we go. This will work. Nobody's going to see how bad that looks. We'll put a little more glue on it so it sticks. And we'll try to get this a little straighter. There we go. That's better. Nobody will ever know that I pulled that up, right? Except for all of you and me. All right. We'll put some dimensionals on the back of here. While we were on break, I cut these because I was almost to the end. I like to use up all of these. So I just cut them into little pieces and nothing goes to waste. Pull all these off of here. Now for this card, the ribbon that came with this was shaded spruce. And I didn't really care too much for how the shaded spruce ribbon ended up looking with this pretty peacock color. So what I ended up doing is in this kit, I ended up giving you some of the silver trim, and I gave you enough so that if you wanted to make a double bow, you could make a double looped bow, or I'm just going to make a single on this one. Some people like to make a double when it's a thinner ribbon like this, like a trim. I decided on the sample that I made a double, and today I'm just going to make a single. Okay, so I'm just gonna, you could use a bow maker if you wanted to. I think I might actually. This has white on one side, silver and white on one side, and plain silver on the other. And sometimes it can be difficult to keep it so that you have all silver. So that's why the bow maker comes in handy sometimes. Because when I wrap it around here, all of it is silver. All right, and we'll trim. Hi, Linda. I don't know what else there. All right, we'll put that aside. Looks like I could use more ribbon here for something else. And we're just going to take a glue dot and my take your pick tool. And again, I'm just going to make it into a little bow, little round circle and push my knot in there. And there is the bow on the top of that. All right, so now I'm going to take some of those gems that we had, and since this was silver, I wanted to take these clear ones, and these are kind of heavy, so I didn't want to put too many of them on here. So I just decided to take one of the bigger ones and one of the smaller ones and just kind of line this circle that's down here and just add a couple of them. So it kind of distributes a little bit of the unevenness with our bow up here and our knot, and then the gems down here. So they're on different sides of the card. All right, so there is our first card. Let's celebrate the season and have a very Merry Christmas. It looks like I didn't pop all of these out. So I can take my take your pick tool and get some of those out. There we go. I think I got them all now. So there is our first card. All right, card number 2. Let's see what I have here. Here it is. I'm just going to grab whatever is next for me. And there's a lot of stuff inside of here. So on this one, for those of you that purchased the card kit, you have a piece of shaded spruce, a scrap that is meant for you to cut one of these little sprigs out. And you have a piece of gold foil that is meant for you to cut 2 of these little sprigs out. Now, there's enough here that you could probably cut out 2 more of those and 1 more on this one. So I do like to give you enough so that if you want to recreate something, you can. We're going to be stamping on here and cutting something out. And this is going to be a fun fold card that I'm giving you the option for this one to either use it as a card or you can use it as a gift card holder. I always like to, with Christmas, give you an option, give you some ideas of how you can turn a card into a gift card holder. This, I took the dies and I cut this right from the designer paper, but you can stamp this and you are able to color it and cut it out as well. And I'll show you a card that Kathy Miller made for this. Again, for those of you, Kathy and I started by doing this all together, and then plans changed with her family, and she had to be up in the Northwoods today. And she said, I'm not really going to be able to do it. And I said, well, I'll just go ahead and make the cards then. But she had already started with making some of the cards, so she's sharing the cards that she made, one from each of the classes. So that is that. So what we're going to do on this piece of, this is Poppy Parade. We are going to take the bow that is in there, and we're going to use some Versamark ink, and we're going to stamp that. And again, I gave you enough so that you should be able to do a couple of these if you wanted to. And we're going to take our white embossing powder, and I have a spoon in there, but I just kind of popped it in there and covered that in white. We will heat set that, and there is a die that cuts that out. And through the magic of TV, I have that done already. So we have a little bow that we cut out, stamped, heat embossed, and we cut it out. One of these is going to be the front of our card. And what we're going to stamp on the front of this card is, because it was a gift card holder that I made it, I decided, this is Poppy Parade ink. I decided to use for someone special because they're going to be getting something, right? They're going to be getting a gift card. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp that in the lower right corner of one of these front layers. On the inside, I'm going to stamp Let's Celebrate the Season, but we've got to clean that first because I just had it in Pretty Peacock ink. So I'm going to go ahead. Here it is. This is my chamois, which is my favorite way to clean my stamps. I just run this. This one needs to be rinsed out a little bit. There's a lot of ink on there, but you just run it underneath the faucet. I like to use warm water. If my chamois sits for a really, really long time, it tends to get really hard. It doesn't smell, but it just gets really, really hard. And so what I like to do is run it under warm water to loosen it up a little bit and get it nice and soft again so that I can use it. So that is that. So we have all of our stamping completed. And I just store mine in a empty stamp case, which you can purchase the empty stamp cases from Stampin' Up as well. All right, so for this card, it is a little bit of a fun fold. So we've got Poppy Parade, and we're going to have the fold of our card be on the bottom. This is one of them that I did for my swap. And then I used our dashing design, which I know a lot of people call this the paper towel embossing folder because it kind of looks like the quilting that you find on paper towel. All right. I'm trying to keep up on all of your comments. Oh, Renee, you've been decorating for fall. I have my, whoops. I have my kitchen table. I did that not too long ago, but I still have to do my fireplace, and I'm hoping to get that done this weekend because I love fall decorations. I just got some glue on here, so I'm going to grab a baby wipe here and get some of that glue off my fingers. I love decorating for fall. It's my favorite. Well, I like decorating for Christmas too, but fall is so pretty. I love all the colors of fall. All right, there we go. I've got that taken care of. We're going to, this is some of our DSP that we're just going to put on this front layer like that. And there really isn't a right or wrong way for this. And if you look at the other side, it's Christmas tree. So I think it's meant to have that ribbon kind of go down this way, but I think you could get away with doing it the way I am doing it, with having it go horizontally or landscape wise rather than portrait. I forgot I need a little punch. If you are going to use this as a gift card holder, this is where we're going to put in our gift card, is on this bottom part once we open it up. And so what I did was I just took, this is a 3/4 inch punch. It could be any size punch. It could be some round dies, whatever you have. And I'm just putting it in there, centering it as best I can right and left, and then putting it in about halfway in for the circle, just to create a little finger holder so that I can pull the gift card out. And that way it's easier to put it in and it's easier to take it out. Now, what I'm going to do is I did bring my silicone mat in. I found where I put it. Oh, thanks, Carol. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. Now, because I want my gift card holder to sit in here, rest in here, I only want tape along the edges. I don't want to fill anything in here because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set my gift card right inside of there. And I found that if I use my um, seal of choice, or my adhesive of choice, is my tear and tape. But if I use the full size, it does make it really snug. So what I decided to do was I'm going to go ahead and put this on here, and I'm only going to use about half of it. And I'm using my silicone mat because it doesn't stick to my silicone mat. Okay, the glue doesn't stick to it. And I can just go ahead and pull it up after if I get glue on it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have it hang off the edge there. And then what I'm going to do is when I pull this off, I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it back in on itself. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this white piece of paper off, and I don't want that glue sitting there, so I have to fold it back on itself. That way my it doesn't matter on the bottom. I can do the full width or on the bottom, but it was just a tad bit too wide for me if I didn't do that. Okay, so I'm taking all of these strips off, and this is just going to go right inside of here. And now you have to be careful with the tear and tape because it is a permanent tape. So the minute you push it down, it's pretty well down. So now I can tuck my gift card holder in here, or gift card in here, and it fits in there really well. And I have the little finger thing that I can pull that out. Okay. On the front, before we put this on, I'm going to take, and I'm going to grab one that I have open already, our shaded spruce ribbon. And I'm going to wrap this around here. I'm going to attempt to tie a bow on live TV, which sometimes that can be a bit of a challenge. So we'll see how I'm doing today. I'm going to get this silicone mat out of here though. All right, I want my bow to be a little bit off to the left. That's why I typed, or I stamped, I didn't type it, I stamped the greeting off to the right because I wanted to put a little bow over here. Okay, so when I take my bows so that the tails go in the right direction, I make a loop on the right-hand side. I kind of hold my finger down here, or you can use a reverse tweezers to hold it in place. I take the back and I bring it to the front, the other strip. I bring it to the front and then I tuck it inside of here to make the second loop and then pull it with my fingers that were holding that in place. I don't know if that makes sense to all of you, but that's someone always asks me, like, how come when I make my bows, they're upside down, like the tails are going the wrong way? It's because I pull it from the back and bring it forward that makes it the right way. If you bring it around the front, your tails are probably going to be facing in that direction. Just something that I've learned over time. And I can't even remember which demonstrator I saw do that. And I was like, oh, that's that's why my bows are always backwards. I'm always pulling around to the front, and if I pull around from the back to the front, they'll go the right way. All right, my ribbon scissors here. I'm going to cut these kind of short so I can see that greeting. And I am going to take a glue dot and I'm just going to pop it. Whoops. I'll tighten that up a little. I am going to pop it right behind my knot so that it stays in place. Okay, and then this is going to get adhered to the little flap that's going to open along the front. So we've got two openings on this card. We've got where we can open it down and reveal our gift card. And we have where we can flip this part up to reveal our inside greeting. And so it really is not a difficult card to make. And then this is just going to go in here. So we'll flip this up and we'll flip that down, and bonus, there's our gift card. All right, we'll go ahead and adhere this to the front of our card. I'm doing this so that I can see where it's centered right and left and top and bottom. It's not the same width all over, but I want the right and left to be the same and the top and the bottom to be the same. So I open it up to be able to do that. Tuck that back in there. I'm going to put this stocking on with some dimensionals. Okay, so I've got a whole bunch of dimensionals on there. And again, I didn't have to stamp and color and die cut this. All I did was use the paper, and our die cut actually cut that out. It's the same size. And now I'm just going to decorate up my stocking a little bit. So I'm going to put these little pieces of greenery and green and gold that I ended up cutting out. I'm going to go ahead and put those on some glue dots. And I'm also going to put my ribbon on a glue dot. And I'm just going to hang some of these off of the stocking. So I'm going to have my two gold ones kind of coming off the side. And then we're going to have our green one coming down the center. And then our bow right over the top of that, just to add a little of extra glitz to our card. All right. And these I did not glue down on. I just let them kind of hanging like they were hanging on there. Just put the little bit of glue in the center. And then on this card, I decided I wanted to use these more, they're more of like a champagne or a gold color. And so I'm going to throw a couple of these down here, and we'll put one more up in there. Right, so there is our second card, which you can choose to add this piece or not add it if you don't need a gift card holder. You don't have to put, you don't even have to put designer paper here. You could just leave it as red and just have it open. But I liked how it had the gift card holder. All right, so there is our card number 2. Oh, we're doing pretty good, right? Yeah, 1 o'clock, half an hour. Exactly. So I'm doing great. All right, our next card that I have, we've got some more shaded spruce coming. All right. So you have a little piece of basic white that we're going to do some stamping on. We have 2 labels, and we have some designer paper, 2 strips of the green, and then some of these are actually the same on both sides, but we're going to use the trees on this side. This again is a fun fold, and we have another basic white for the inside. So we're going to need this for our stamping. We're going to need this for stamping, and we're going to need this for stamping. So I'm going to put the rest of this aside for right now while we do our stamping. So for this one, we're going to use this stamp that has the candles on it. Now, I have to tell you that when I did my swap, we're supposed to try to incorporate as many of the stamps and dies and everything into our cards. I completely missed this one somehow. And I had all my cards done, and I'm like, shoot, I didn't use that. And so we're using it today instead. I'm going to clean my, let's see, where did I throw the chamois to after I used it? It got covered by my wipes. I'm going to clear this or clean this off. Have a very Merry Christmas. And we're going to, on our label, stamp that in shaded spruce. I'm going to stand up and try to get this straight. There we go. Pretty good. All right, we are going to do some coloring. Now, we do have dies. This is for the inside of my card, so I just have that down in the little corner. This right here is going to go on the front of my card. So I need to die cut that. So through the magic of TV, I have that done already. So our candle is already cut. I'm going to bring in some blends, and we're going to color this with blends. The next card we're going to do a little bit different and color it a different way. I wanted to show you a couple of different ways that you can actually color some of these images. So I'm using Daffodil Delight for the flame of my candles. And then I have Poppy Parade and I have Real Red because I wanted 2 different shades of red. So I'm going to use the Poppy Parade, and I'm going to use the finer tip, is going to be for my melted wax that's coming down the side here. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Got my melted wax. Okay, and I'm also going to do that for these little berries. And then I'm going to take the Real Red. So this is a light Poppy Parade, and this is the dark Real Red. I wanted there to be enough contrast that you could see the difference between the wax and the candle, and the candle, and these little berries that are down here as well. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. This is the inside of my card. I just wanted a little bit of that candle image again on the inside. So I not only stamped it to die cut it, but I also stamped it on the inside. So that's what I have so far. You can kind of see the difference between those two red colors. All right, then I'm going to color the leaves, and I have some granny apple green and I have some shaded spruce. And my shaded spruce is the lighter, whoops. You know what? I think I used the darker one because I think I had a problem. Oh, you know what? I have two shaded spruce and I grabbed the wrong one. I have one that comes off all the time, and then I have one that is good. So we're going to use the one that's good. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm kind of making little dots to go around the parts that need to be colored in because it's really a tiny image. And if I try to use more of a brush stroke, I end up going outside of the lines. So what I do is I just kind of take a tap, 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 tap in all of the different spots where I want the color. And that seems to work a little bit better than actually doing a coloring in, if that makes sense to you, because they're just so tiny that I find if I actually try to make a brush stroke like that, I go outside the lines. So I just kind of dot, 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 dot until it's completely filled in. Same thing here. And one more leaf. Okay, then the granny apple green. Whoops, I missed one of the leaves here, or one of the holly. There we go. Then these other little greeneries that are there, I'm just going to come over with a granny apple green, and I'm just going to like go right over the top of them with that, just to add another shade of green in there. And that's how I ended up coloring our little candle image. All right, we are all set to put this together. So what we're going to do is this card is folded and it's kind of like one of those book folds. So you're going to fold in half and then you're going to fold back, and then this one you're going to fold back as well. So you're going to have two folds that you fold back. Okay, then we're going to take our striped paper, and our striped paper is going to go right here. Kind of like when we do a book fold, right? The book binding fold. Oh, thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. So that's going to go like that. And then this is going to go over here. And I want to, the other one has like, I can keep it centered inside of that square. Here, what I want to do is I want to keep it so that these three sides have about the same amount of shaded spruce on them. Okay, and then this is going to be on our inside. So I'm just going to kind of fold where that is and then center this. Okay, Okay. And then before I close this, what I want to do is I want to wrap some of that ribbon around here. So I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to just cut enough so that it sneaks on either side. I'm gonna flip it over, and I like to make sure my ribbon's gonna stay where I want it to stay. So I use Scotch tape. um, so I'm gonna use Scotch tape here. So there's one, and there's the other one. And then I think I'm going to use some tear and tape because this has the ribbon in it. I really want to make sure that this stays shut. Oh, and I need a new roll of tear and tape. So we're going to go like this. We're going to put some tear and tape and we'll finish up the rest of it with some liquid glue. All right. But I really want that to stay closed. And so with the ribbon in there, it just helps to have a little bit of extra permanent. You could also use the Stamp and Seal Plus. The pluses are permanent. Just the regular Stamp and Seal is not a permanent. It's not a real sticky one like the Plus is. Okay, then I have a layer of shaded spruce and I'm going to put this pretty tree paper. So I'm going to use the opposite side of this designer paper. And I'm going to put that on, layer that on there. And then I want to use adhesive. You could use glue, you could use whatever you want. I'm going to use just my seal because I've got it handy right here. Okay, so this is going to go top and bottom. It's the exact same height. So you want to line it up along the bottom and it should line up along the top. Horizontally, I want this edge to come to the edge of my designer paper, and this side should be to the edge of that designer paper. It should fit in there that way. So I'm going up to the edge of this, and it's going to the edge of the other designer paper, and then along the top. But I only want it on this half. Okay, so the half that's folded. All right, so we have that. I'm going to take a little bit of the ribbon and just tie a knot here. I don't need a bow. I think just a knot will do. Oops. I didn't do a very good knot though. I think I'm going to flip this upside down because there's kind of a right side and a wrong side. One side is shiny and one side is not. So if I go like that, whoops. All thumbs here. Got the bow. I should be able to do a knot, right? Come on. There we go. Just go ahead and snip off our edges. Okay, and then these labels are both the same size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the bottom here. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. And we're just going to have a little bit of that red coming through. And this is our real red, not Poppy Parade. The last card was Poppy Parade, and this one is real red. So I used a variety of different reds, but you can intertwine them if you were making these cards. You could use Poppy Parade and real red are on there. Okay, so for this, I'm going to actually just adhere this to the card with regular liquid glue. And then I should have stamped this a little bit more over to the left. I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals on the right-hand side. And I've got some mini dimensionals here that we're going to use. I'm glad you guys are getting ideas. Like I said, when I first got this stamp set, I was like, oh, what am I going to do with that? And then I started playing with it. I'm like, there's some really cool things you can do with that. So I wanted to use that in this World Card Making Day because there really are some cool things that you can do with it. So have a Merry Christmas. And then we've got our little greet. You could put a greeting in here. I just left it, I think I left it blank. I did. I just did the candles in the corner. If you wanted to use one of the other greetings, you could use one of the other greetings. And then I thought it just needed a little bit of bling. So we'll bring in our gems. And it looks like I stamped this a little bit crooked, my greeting. Or I put it on there a little bit crooked. It just looks a tad bit crooked to me, but it could be that I'm just looking at it on an angle. I'm just going to put one of them there, and I'll probably just put, I don't want to cover up the trees. So maybe we'll put one there, and we'll put another one over here in between those. Okay, so have a Merry Christmas, and we've got our place to write our greeting on the inside. So that is card number 3, another fun fold. So we've got 2 fun folds. The next one, the last one, is I wanted to show a different way of coloring some of the images that we have. And so this one is going to be using Garden Green and Real Red, which I think is my favorite combination for Christmas. So you're going to have a piece of Garden Green, and you're going to be cutting out 3 of those pieces of greenery from there. And again, I've given you a big enough piece that you could probably cut 3 more out and make another card using that. I also have a label that comes from our Season of Greetings label, and this is in Real Red. You have a piece of basic white that I don't even know what it measures, but it's the one that you're like, what am I supposed to do with it? With this piece, we're going to use some Garden Green ink, and we are going to stamp this greenery image. I'll just stamp it here. And again, I gave you enough space that you should be able to stamp another one and be able to get another card. This does have a die that we're going to cut out, and so I have that cut out already for us. But then on my inside layer, I'm going to stamp this again. Just going to put it along the side here. All right. And then on the inside, I'm also going to stamp the Have a Very Merry Christmas. And I need to clean this again before I stamp it. And just going to pat it on my pants a little bit, make sure it's dry. And I'm just going to put that in the middle. And on the front, on that tag, I wanted to use the greeting that we haven't used yet, which is kind of my favorite in this stamp set. It says, wishing you joy and happiness. And so I'm going to use some Versamark. So I'm going to actually go ahead and take my embossing buddy. This comes in a set with a container to hold your powder. And it also has a reverse tweezers that you can use for when you're holding this up to your heat tool. But I'm going to go ahead and stamp the wishing you joy and happiness in Versamark. And then I have my white embossing powder that I'm going to use. And then we will heat seal that. And through the magic of TV, I have that done already. All right, I'm going to set this over here because I have my bow and I have my label that I'm going to heat set later so that that doesn't go to waste. Okay, for coloring this, I'm going to set this aside and we're going to work on coloring this. I'm going to be using Garden Green and I'm going to be using Real Red. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to color with my Wink of Stella. This is going to be my paintbrush. Not only is it going to add ink, but it's also going to be adding some glimmer. Now, normally when I use like a Stampin' Blend marker or something, I just like press the cover in and there's ink that comes up on the cover and I use it. But because I'm using the Wink of Stella, I don't want to get that glimmer into my pad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my pad and I'm going to take one of our clear blocks. And I did clean this before. It doesn't look like it's clean, but I did clean it. And I'm just going to stamp it in there. And this is the ink that I'm going to use for coloring. All right. Then I'm going to go to my Real Red and I'm going to open that up. And I have another block and I'm going to get ink that I'm going to color from that is red as well. Oops, sorry about that. I don't know if I was in the camera's way. So I just stamped my block right inside of there to get ink that I'm going to use. Get these out of the way. All right, so I'm going to use my Wink of Stella brush and I'm basically just going to pick up a little bit of that ink and I kind of brush a little bit of it off and then I'm going to brush it right on here like I'm almost watercoloring these images. But not only does it leave color, but it also, I don't know if you can see that glimmer that goes on there. And as you start to color this, the ink gets a little bit lighter as you're going along. So that allows you to have different shades of green instead of having everything be the same shade. So I've got something really dark up here. And now if I come up here, because I've been coloring with this for a while, this is going to be a little bit lighter than that green. And then I can pick up just a little bit more ink again. You don't need a lot. Okay, and then I can go ahead and color in here, and this is going to be darker again for a while, and then it's going to get a little lighter. And so you can control how light or how dark you want all of these leaves so that you can have a variety of different shades of green. And not only is it green, but holy cow, it just sparkles like crazy because you're using this Wink of Stella brush. And it doesn't hurt your Wink of Stella brush. All we're going to do when we get to the end is we're just going to wipe it off on our scrap paper a little bit to get it clear again. And then we can add the red berries after that. So if I want this to be a little darker, I'm picking up just a little bit more ink before I go in to do that leaf. And I have different shades of green on all of these leaves. And it sparkles because of the Wink of Stella brush that I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for my inside image. I like the glimmer on it, so it's okay that I'm putting Wink of Stella on the inside. You could also, if you don't like using the Wink of Stella this way, you don't like all the glimmer that comes on, you could always just use a regular blending brush. And what's nice about putting the ink on a block like this is that I'm not spreading all kinds of ink on the inside cover of my stamp pad either, because otherwise, that sticks there forever. And it's like you open it up and it's like, oh, there's this big glob of ink on the cover. And so this is a nice way to get some of your ink onto a little block like this. But then all you have to do is run that underneath the faucet in your sink when you're done. And that ink will go right off of there and you can use the block again for putting stamps on it and it doesn't hurt it at all. Okay, I'm almost done with the green here. Trying to stay inside the lines of all of these leaves. Okay, and so now I'm just going to brush this out a little bit until the green is off of it. And now I'm going to go into my red and pick up my red and just color in those little berries. I think there were some over here too. I think I might have put a little green on some of them. Okay, so there is our image and it glimmers. It's got like really nice little, looks like I've got glitter inside. Like I used a glue or a paint brush that had glitter because I did. All right, and if you want a little bit more, and you don't have to use a block the size that I did, you could use a smaller block. I just grabbed whatever I had handy at when I stopped for my lunch break. I ended up, and now I just want to clean all of this red off before I put my cover back on because I don't want the next time to use it, put red in it. Okay, so there are my two images that I inked. I'm going to go set these on my counter so I don't set some ink inside of it. All right, and we're ready to put this card together. And I'm going to just flip this, or I might I'll just get rid of it. I don't think I need it anymore. All right, so we're going to use this cute pattern that's on here with the little boughs of Christmas stuff. And I think I might have cut this paper too small. I think it's supposed to be a little bit bigger. At least my sample is bigger. Right, so that's just going to go on, get layered on there. And again, I'm going to just put this down with regular seal. I'm not going to raise that up on dimensionals because I want the little thing that I'm putting on the side, I want that to be raised up on dimensionals. So I'm going to put dimensionals on here. And I'm going to kind of keep them on the inside because I am going to tuck some of those little greenery things in. And if you wanted to use the hint that I used earlier and tuck them in ahead of time and just tape them with some Scotch tape, you just have to be careful to know where this is going to go, that you don't, that you cover the Scotch tape with this. For this one, I thought it was just as easy after I had it in there to put some glue dots on. And I'm just going to tuck one of those underneath there. And I'm going to tuck another one over here. And then I had one more just for good measure. I'm going to tuck that one down here. Okay, so I have those little sprigs coming out of the rest of that holly. And again, I was using garden green, and our ribbon is shaded spruce. And I really didn't think that the shaded spruce necessarily went with the garden green. It looked like it was off a little bit. So I used some of our garden green twine that we had in our first, when we did our frosted forest, we used the trio of twines. And I have green here, and I'm going to wrap this around here 3 times and make a triple bow to make it a little bit more substantial than a single one. And I'll wrap this around here. So to make a triple bow, you just wrap it around your bow maker 3 times. We're going to go ahead and curl this. And then that is going to go right inside of there. And I think I'm going to leave it as long as it is because I kind of like that. I like how that looks once it's been curled. So I'm going to go ahead and twist and pop that right in that circle and then pop our bow knot right inside of there as well. So there is our third card, and I ended up just adding a couple of these little gems down in the corner there. You could put another one up here if you wanted to, I suppose. Okay, and just to add a little bit of that. I like it with just two, I think. Usually I like threes, but I think that one looks good with just the two. You could also put like one in the center here and then one of the little ones on either side, but this greenery is kind of in the way to do that, so I would just leave it like that. All right, so there is card number 4. We had card 3 and card 2. And I don't know if these are the order that I had them in the PDF. It was just the order that I had them here. But the PDF does have pictures of everything. It has all of the dimensions. If you wanted to buy a PDF, since you didn't get a chance to get the kits, if you still wanted to get the PDF, I have listed that link to be able to purchase it for $10. You would get all 3 of them. That is on my Facebook page. I will also, after I'm done, go in the comments or in the description of this video, and I will go ahead and add that link as well. I wanted to show you I have some other samples that I could share. This was another one that I did for the swap that I did. And this is a gift card holder as well that pops in here and it pops open. So that was one that I did for swap. This is one that Kathy did. So she colored in the presents and stuff in the stocking and used both sides of that paper with a fun fold. And then this is one that I found from Julie Davidson, and I ended up making this for my card buffet. So if you're coming to my card buffet, this is a card that you could create as well, and it uses that bundle. And here I just used the little gem and put it in the center of the ribbon. And I had to fussy cut this because there isn't a die to cut that out. But it was a super easy card to make, quick and easy. I wanted to give you a sneak peek on Monday. If you like this kind of stuff where you can purchase a kit and it's all cards with the same stamp set, on Monday, Kathy and I will be opening up another kit that we're going to be doing together. And I wanted to just give you a little sneak peek of what it entails. So what we're going to be doing is featuring this bundle. It's called Hang an Ornament. So there's 2 different ornaments. There's some greetings that can go in there, and then there are dies. Whoops. So we've got the little hanger for the ornament. We've got this little, I don't know, that little metal thing that goes over it, some holly, and then this ornament can either be cut out completely or you can leave it intact that they pop it out afterwards, and then they can use it as an ornament that they hang on their tree or an ornament for just about anything. What our kit class is, and I'll put this here, for $15, you would get 8 cards. So there are going to be 4 designs, and you would get everything would be cut for 2 of them, and the PDF for how to make the 4 cards. That would be for $15. Most of that is shipping because all we're sending are the 8 cards, but it still has quite a bit of shipping. So it seems like a lot, but we have to cover our expense for shipping. The kit itself would be a half a pack of the designer series paper, and we're using Take a Bow, or Take a Bow, I think is how you're supposed to say it. So it has 4 different patterns. They're 2-sided, and you would get a half a pack of this paper. You would also get a quarter of a pack of this glimmer paper. So you would get 2 6x6 sheets. It comes in 12x12, but we're cutting it down to 6x6 because it's cheaper for us to ship it that way. So you would get this glimmer paper. You would get a pack of this red and white baker's twine, and you would get a pack of the iridescent faceted gems that we'll be putting on the cards as well. So this you would get along with the 8 cards and the PDF for $35. So that includes the cost of the products. It costs to ship the products to us and then ship it out to you. And then the last one is to add the bundle. So you would add the bundle plus all of the other stuff for $70. And so we will be getting that out. All of the promotional stuff for you to sign up for that will be coming out on Monday. We give you 2 weeks to sign up. And then the week after that, we start bundling up our kits and get them out in the mail, hopefully by the end of the week. We just have to wait for all of the product to get to us. Uh, Make a bow. Yeah, right. I know, it's so funny. I don't know if it's take a bow or take a bow because it's made with, or it comes with a uh, die set that makes bows. So you think it's supposed to be bows, but the word usually you say take a bow. So anyhow, that is a kit that is going to be coming. Kathy and I are both. Here's a little sneak peek. I'll give you a sneak peek of a card made with it. Oh, fun, right? So anyhow, that is coming up on Monday. You can start ordering that. I'm going to go ahead and turn my light back on. And I'll switch my camera. Let's see here. There we go. And I have to get the names. So if you've entered the door prizes, I will go ahead and grab all of those names. Whoops. What did I do? I did something wrong. Probably because I'm trying to do this while I'm talking. Let's see, shift. I'll grab all of those names. There we go. And I'll copy those and we'll put those in our wheel of names. And I'm going to shuffle them again. And I will come and share my screen with you. Actually, let me show you what I'm raffling off this time. Oh, yeah, I will definitely thank my mom. She is amazing. She helps me with everything that I do. So I have some of the cherry cobbler with gold trim ribbon. This has been out of stock, but I happen to have a roll that I'm giving away. I also have a twin pack of that silver and gold trim, perfect for Christmas cards, right? Again, I have a pack of the peppermint rounds, and I have these faux glass dots that I'm giving up. I kind of took stuff that it came back in and it was in for a while. And I'm like, oh, that's the stuff that I'm going to get because I know it's going to go out again. And a lot of the stuff has gone out. So let's go ahead and see if I can share my wheel of names. There we go. All right. And so we have everyone in there. Let me shuffle everybody up again and we'll go ahead and spin. And this first one's going to be for the cherry cobbler and gold ribbon. Cherry cobbler and gold ribbon goes to Karen Kozleski. So Karen will be getting that. I have a lot of Karen K's, so I have to write your whole name out completely, Karen, so I remember which Karen it was. All right, next will be for the trim, the silver and gold trim. And that will be going to, our winner will be Norma Tucker. Norma, I will be getting that out in the mail to you. And then next I have the red and white peppermints. So we will go ahead. Thank you to all of you. Thanks, Jean, for watching all 3 classes. I'm so happy that you did. Melanie. You know what? I think Melanie won already. And I'm just going to look to see if she did. I'm going to redo it because yep, and she won the same thing. So I'm going to remove that. We're going to redo that one because Melanie won already. And that's what she won, was the red and white peppermint dots. I didn't take the names out. I wanted to make sure I got all the new people. So Bridget. Road. Okay. And then the last is the faux glass dots. So we will go ahead. So some of the people who won already, their names are in here. But if they win again, I will be taking them out just because I want everyone to be able to win just once. And Marge won already. So we're going to go ahead and flip that. I think she won the exact same thing too. It just, because of the new people joining, I always had to like redo them again. So Shanna Roberts will get those. So I will get those out in the mail to all of you. Oh, okay, let me come back to you here. Get rid of our wheel and let me come back. And here I am. All right, just a couple of reminders that Monday through Wednesday, Stampin' Up! Is having a 3-day stamp sale, 15% off all of the stamp sets that are in the 2024-25 annual catalog. That is not bundles, those are just the stamp sets, okay? So that's on Monday through Wednesday only. Through the month of October, there is a join or a starter kit special. Instead of getting $125 worth of products for your $99, you will get $155. This is such a great deal. If you're going to buy $100 worth of products, I really recommend doing the starter kit and getting the $155 and the free shipping. If you do this on Monday through Wednesday, any of the stamps that you add from the annual catalog that are on sale, you will also get at a discounted price. Also, if you add any of the kits that are on sale for 30% off or any of the clearance items, you get more product for your $99. And all of those sales, our kit sale is 30% off all of our kits. All of those are good on your starter kit, but you will only get the 15% off on the stamps on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Being a member of my team means that you, if you are local, any of my events that I have, my card buffets, you get to attend those for free. And also any of the PDFs, like our PDFs that we had for today, I sent those out to all the members of my team. They get those for free. And I also have quarterly, I have a meeting where I give a lot of prizes away. We make some cards, we have fun together, and we just kind of have a lot of fun together. And also, being a member of my team means that you're also part of Kelly Atchison's team. For any of you who know Kelly, she has a website that she and Dina Rico and Barb Mulligan do together. It's Stamp Happy Academy. You get to be a member of that for free. And you also get to attend her meetings where she also gives away prizes and things like that for free. So if you're interested in getting a discount on everything that you purchase, that's what the starter kit basically is. You do not have to do what I'm doing. You don't have to make videos. You don't have to have classes. You don't have to cut for other people to make cards. If you simply just want a 20% discount on all of your products, this is the thing for you. So I want to throw it out there because it is such a great deal. And I would love to have you on my team if that's something that you're interested in. So thank you so much for all of you who joined me, whether it be you were live at every single one of these or you are catching the replay. I really, really appreciate it. World Card Making Day is so much fun. My goal is to now take all of these cards that I made and get them in the mail next week to different people, not the Christmas ones, but the other ones. I hope to get some of those in the mail to people so that I'm not just making cards and hoarding them, that I'm actually making a difference in somebody's life by sending them. So thank you so much for joining me. And again, I will add in the description of each of these videos a link to where you can purchase the PDFs if you are interested in the PDFs. So thank you so much and have a great weekend. I hope you can find some time to be creative. Bye-bye.